Right, Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. Welcome to our Wednesday class. I'm Yalkut Yosef. And we are moving forward in the halachot of Kiryat Torah. We spoke about the Olim and how properly they should read together with the Chazan. That's pretty much where we left. And I want to continue from there. So, what happens when there's a father and son and they both want to get an aliyah, or two brothers? Are they allowed to go up to the Torah, one right after the other? Answer,
Nope.
no. Giacomo, ברוך הבא, יגאל, I didn't notice you guys. ברוכים הבאים, קיבלתי ברוך. So yeah, right, that is very true. Why? Do you know why you can't have two of them in a row?
No.
So Baruch Hashem. Something we're going to learn today. So it's because of Ain Hara. When two family members are walking in the ways of Hashem and they're praying together in the Knesset, or if a man has two sons and they both go up to the Torah, our concern is that people are going to say, oh, wow, both of his sons, wow. And people should know, Ain Hara is not when someone has an evil eye and is trying to do something wrong. Just by getting impressed, oh, well, that's also some sort of Ain Hara, right? So we're careful about the people. We don't want two olim that are father and son or brothers to go up in a row so that there is no Ain Hara. And there's a special halakha over here. What's a special halakha? That in a normal case, once someone is called up to the Torah by his name, even if he doesn't want to go up, what is the halakha? Does he go up or no? He has to go up. If he doesn't go up, lo alenu, halakha says, mekatzer yamav u'shnotav. It shortens a person's life if they named his name and he didn't go up. However, says the Yalkut Yosef, if in this case they are called up, father after son, son after father, brother after brother, even if they called him by his name, it's not mekatzer yamav u'shnotav. He would be allowed to say, sorry, my brother just had an aliyah. I don't want to go up right now. I'll go up the next time. Why? Because of the Ain Hara issue, you're allowed to do that. And since you're following the custom not to have two in a row, then there's no problem of mikatzer emav or shortening somebody's life. Another way to be lenient to have a father and son or two brothers go up one after the other is if there's a Kaddish in the middle. He has Shevi'i, then he does Kaddish, then the other brother has Maftir. That's a way that you can be lenient as well. If they both want to have an aliyah and they both arrive now and we want to give them both, he says you can be lenient and do those as well. Now, what happens in Simchat Torah? I once prayed in a minyan. Simchat Torah, they have a lot of breakaway minyans because you want everybody to go have an aliyah. Naturally, the friends, the brothers, they want to go in the same minyan, and all of a sudden, they two are the last two people to go up. And you say, well, I'm not going to have an aliyah because I'm after my brother. We both want to have an aliyah. What do we do? Can we go or can we go? Says the Yalkut Yosef, and the Simchat Torah, we are not concerned with Ain Hara. All the rules change. Why? What could be a good reason? Why in Simchat Torah the rules change?
Because everybody is happy and everybody is not
Exactly.
thinking about it.
This is how it is. Everybody goes up in Simchat Torah, so everybody knows. So no one's eye is on anybody else. Everybody's getting aliyah today, right? Everybody.
Everyone is drunk. Nobody understands well.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be drunk when you have the aliyah. You should be drunk after Bezat Hashem. But yeah, in reality, that's another good reasoning as well. But yeah, once everybody's happy, then there's no eye on anybody else, and that's it. Everybody has the.
Ziv, that's also for a grandfather or only father and son and brother?
I mean, same idea.
Same idea?
Grandfather and grandson. I don't know that they
Yeah.
didn't have aliyah one after the other. Generally, I only know father and son and brothers. Interesting question. I don't think
Because
that.
some Chachamim say the grandfather is considered like a father in certain case. It's like
Yeah.
whatever. Just
The halakha says bnei banim kebanim. Someone's grandchildren are like his own children. I don't know if that applies to this. Let's see. Interesting question. I didn't see a Yosef saying anything about a grandfather. I only saw about father and son and two brothers. Worth investigating.
sorry for the homework.
I love it.
And Ziv, sorry, what did you say? It also applies to uncles and nephews?
No.
No, it's just for father. Okay.
Ain Hara is when you see two people that are like two brothers. Fathers, look at my two sons now. Look at them. They're both walking in the ways of Hashem, both getting aliyah. The eye may open on something like that. But uncle, it's not even the same thing. It's family, right? But it's not the actual same home that they grew up in. That there's
Right.
no problem there. I'm pretty sure for grandfather, no as well, but I'm going to double check. All right. Now for the actual Torah reading. Call somebody up to the Aliyah, the Chazan is reading. Now the Chazan made a mistake. When do we tell the Chazan, hey, fix your mistake? And when do we close our eyes and say, not a problem? So generally, you want to answer?
I think if the words that says the meaning of the word changes, the way he said it, right? If it doesn't change the word, we don't stop him. So, maybe.
Yalkut Yosef, I also used to think that. Yalkut Yosef gives it a little bit more taste. He says like this. He says, even in something that doesn't change the meaning, like if someone read Avram instead of Avraham, it's the same person, right? He just didn't mention the hey. He says you have to be machzir oto. The meaning didn't change, even in that case. He says the only time we're not machzir somebody is for te'amim. He's not reading according to te'amim. He's just reading the words, right? He's not making any mistakes. It's okay. To begin with, obviously the chazan should be prepared. You should read the words properly. You should know all the te'amim. But if he doesn't know the te'amim, but he read the words right, we're not machzir oto. But if he didn't read the word right, instead of Avraham, instead of Avram, even if the meaning didn't change, but it's something is missing over there, right? Then you should make him return. That's what the Yalkut Yosef says. Now you reach a minyan. Happened to us this Shabbat. We were in the Kotel praying on Chasha Shabbat. So they didn't have a Torah reader. At the end, Baruch Hashem, I read the Torah, but I assumed that the Chazan is going to be the Torah reader. And what happens when you have no one to read? He said, nobody can read over here. What do we do? Halacha is, you do not give up on the Torah reading because no one knows how to read. He says something very interesting. He says, let the somech come next to him, but he doesn't say give him signs like the Mashari custom is. Rather, he says, whisper to his ear how to read. Whisper the words, whisper the ta'amim, whatever you need to do, as long as we get to keep the Torah reading and the Torah reading is not hurt. All right. Now regarding, this is Siman Kuf Mem Gimel, 143. Regarding reading the Torah, what is the amount of people that we need to read the Torah? Halacha says, if we do not have 10 people, we cannot take out the Torah, right? For example, Shabbat Zachor, a bunch of guys were late. They say, you know what, listen, it's a mitzvah from the Torah. Johnny, we spoke about this last week. Mitzvah from the Torah, I don't want to miss out on it. What do? Sorry, we're 5 guys here. We don't have a minyan, we can't take out the Torah, even if it's for mitzvah from the Torah.
I have a question. I was actually away this past weekend, and I was at a minyan where we started without 10 people, and we just started praying together without saying Kaddish or repeating stuff that a normal minyan would do. Then by Torah time, the 10th person came, and then we actually took out the Torah and did aliyot and
fantastic. You did
continued
right.
the minyan.
You did right. For Torah reading, you need 10. For minyan, you need 10. You didn't have a minyan. You didn't pray in a minyan shacharit, but now Torah time came. You're obligated.
But then after Torah, we said Musaf. We continued as if there was a minyan.
No problem. It's 2 separate tefillah. Shacharit is 1 tefillah. Musaf is 1 tefillah. In certain cases, you would even pray mincha before Musaf. If mincha time came and you haven't prayed Musaf yet, let's say you had a very long minyan, Allah says, pray mincha first and then play Musaf. We're used to praying Musaf and Shacharit together. One of the reasons that we feel like they're together because there's no alenu l'shabeach after Shacharit. Since usually they come together, and we put it at the end. But the tzaddikim used to pray always in nets. So they pray in nets, they finish Shacharit, then Musaf, 8 o'clock, they do alenu l'shabeach for the day. For us, sometimes we go to Leit Minyan, this, that, all of a sudden, it's almost chatzot, we didn't say alenu l'shabeach. But it says one alenu l'shabeach, we think that it may be 1 tefillah. It's 2 separate tefillot, each one for itself. So
can I ask another random question? If it's kosher or not to do it? If someone has Kaddish, can they start like in a regular minyan that starts at 9, say the beginning Kaddishes, and then they go down to the early minyan because they're already caught up at the end and finishes Kaddishes in there? Is that considered like doing shacharit? So
there are 2 separate things here. One is to praying shacharit and a minyan, all right? So that, I don't know if you missed it because you went to the downstairs. Did you miss a Kaddish? Did you miss Kedusha, right? There's Kadosh, Kadosh, I don't know where you met them. But theoretically, if let's say you're in a slow minyan and downstairs there's another minyan that's opening up and it's a bit faster and you're not missing any Kaddishim, you know, it's not a problem to leave your minyan to go to another minyan if you're not leaving them with anything. You got your Kaddish, and now you're going to the faster minyan. But that's one topic. But does it feel right? Is it the right thing to do to leave your minyan to go to another minyan? There needs to be a reasoning behind it. Right? Like you're in a rush, someone's waiting for you, or not saying that that's the halacha. I'm saying it's like a feeling. But did you fulfill your Kaddish? Yeah, Baruch Hashem, you should fulfill your Kaddish. Really, the Kaddish that the Avel mostly is required to say is the Kaddish all the way at the end of the Tefillah. The Kaddish after Kavel Hashem and Kelokenu, that Kaddish Al Yisrael. The first Kaddish that we say Al Yisrael also, but that's not a Kaddish Yatom. Really, the Chazan needs to say that Kaddish. Only the custom became that since Al Yisrael is for the Yatom, all the Yatomim say that Kaddish. And also after Shir Shel Yom. Those are not the main Kaddishim for the Yatom. The Kaddish that someone's obligated to say, the main one you need to make sure that you're getting is one at each Tefillah. One after Shacharit, one Mincha, one Avit. Those are the main ones. So yeah, I mean, moving between minyanim, I don't know how it feels, depends on the situation. It must not look like you're neglecting or you have a problem with something. It has to be done tactfully, but I get the question.
I think there's a bigger problem. People might think that you're not going to say the Kaddish if you move from one place to the other.
Oh, if people know you and they may suspect that you're not going to say the Kaddish, yeah, that you're right. You're bringing another problem. But let's say you're in the middle of nowhere and no one knows you, but you just want to do that. So yeah, but I hear you.
Ziv, going back to the topic about when to correct the Torah reader.
Yeah.
What happens if the Torah reader didn't prepare enough or for whatever reason, he's like making a lot of mistakes in his reading and people keep correcting. Is there like a certain amount of mistakes that they would have to go back and reread that part, or is it just something that you correct him and he says it correctly and you continue?
As long as he's corrected, then you can continue. Right? There's not a problem. You correct as many times as you want. Regarding an interesting question, regarding Sefer Torah, for example, we're going to get there hopefully, is if you find a mistake in a Sefer Torah, then if the Sofer came and fixed it, you could keep reading. But if you found 3 mistakes, it's not enough that the Sofer will come and fix those 3 mistakes. Once he found 3 mistakes, the whole book needs to be checked right now, because it's an indication that there may be a problem over here. And therefore, even fixing that is not enough. I'm relating this to what you said. Regarding a Torah reader, we don't have that rule. Anytime he's not prepared, he's missing something, you correct him as much as you need, as long as at the end, the tzibur, I'm reminding you that Torah reading is an obligation on the tzibur, on the crowd. We have to hear it. But if I'm alone at home, somebody for some reason wasn't in shul, whatever it is, he's exempt. He doesn't have to complete it because the obligation is on the tzibur. If the tzibur is there and there's no Torah reading, do whatever you can. It's not like him to say this. He said, come put someone that can read next to his ear, whisper to him how to read the words as long as he reads the word. Then you have to do the tamim. The tamim is not an obligation. If he doesn't do the tamim, it's okay. Like Akhila, you should know everything, of course. But if you don't have it, as long as you read the word right, and you say you need to be adjusted, we'll adjust you as much as we need. Right. So as we said, we cannot take out the Torah unless we have 10 people. If we are 9 and one guy is under bar mitzvah, can we join him up for a minyan? What do you say?
Yes, as long as he understands what's going on.
No, only for the Bichat HaMazon, not for the minyan.
Oh, exactly. Meaning, Johnny, the answer is not no. The answer is yes. What you're saying is true for Bichat HaMazon. Giacomo, what you're saying is true for the minyan. So you're both right. Exactly. Yeah, only for Birkat HaMazon we can add people that are under bar mitzvah if we need to complete the time. But minyan, no. Even if he's very close, it's not sufficient. On Rosh Hashanah, okay, first of all, Yalkut Yosef says, if you remember, we spoke last week about someone that does not keep Shabbat. He says if we don't have a minyan without someone that's not keeping Shabbat, they are allowed to join. And how much more so, he says, when you have a minyan on Rosh Hashanah. I have friends that Yom Kippur, for example, they go to kibbutzim. They go to a kibbutz where no one is Shomer Shabbat, nobody, and they won't have a minyan if they don't come. And like a few religious guys come to make a minyan for these people, or else they won't have a bekneset, and they once a year come. So they come, they join the minyan. Now the minyan is combined from people that no one is Shomer Shabbat. Says the Yalkut Yosef, that's not a problem. Why? Specifically, it's always not a problem if you don't have a choice. Do it. It's better than not having a minyan. But specifically on Rosh Hashanah, he says, because there's hirurei teshuvah. The people that are not keeping Shabbat, even though they're not keeping Torah, not keeping mitzvot, The fact that they're here, their heart is longing to Hashem. There's a step happening. There's hirureh, there's thoughts about tshuva. That's sufficient. So definitely on Rosh Hashanah. But not only, all year long, if you don't have a minyan without people, unless they're Shomer Shabbat, that are not Shomer Shabbat, you could be mitzaref them to a minyan. Right. Now, what happens if the Torah reader started to read, and we're 10 people, and one guy left to the bathroom in the middle of the reading? Shouldn't do that. But if he was going over Bal Teshaketzu, where he can't hold it anymore, and he has to go, right? What does the Torah reader do? Can he continue or no? Says the Yalkut Yosef, the Torah reader can continue. Once you started in a way that is allowed, you would be allowed, you're allowed to be continuing. Another requirement for taking out the Torah, if you have 10 people, that's not enough. You have 10 people, but only one didn't hear Torah reading. We cannot take out the Torah. It has to be that the majority, meaning at least 6 people out of those 10, did not hear the Torah. You need 6 people that haven't heard the Torah in order to take out a Sefer Torah. So, yeah, this could happen. Let's say, for example, some people prayed in an earlier minyan, and now the guys that came late say, we want to do another minyan, come join us. Joining you for a minyan is possible, but actually you also need 6 people for a minyan as well. That's the idea. You need 6 people that haven't prayed, or 6 people that haven't read the Torah to take out the Torah. It's all about the majority. You need 6 over there. If you don't have that, that won't be sufficient. Women, can a woman take out a Torah for themselves? Women that missed the Torah reading, and now there are no men in the shul, and there are a bunch of women. Are they allowed to take out the Torah? Says the Yalkut Yosef, of course not. Women do not take out a Sefer Torah for themselves. Sadly, this concept exists more and more. A lot of reform women, a lot of Neshot HaKotel. If you heard about those women here in Israel that hit the news and making a lot of noise, women should have the right, and they wear tzitzit, and they want to put on tefillin. That is not our way. Women do not take out a Sefer Torah. Regarding Shabbat Zachor, as we mentioned last week, there's a machloket whether women are obligated or not obligated to read Shabbat Zachor. Remember, we spoke about this a little bit last week. So says the Yalkut Yosef that even though there's a doubt if they're obligated or not, still you're allowed to bring a man Torah reader and take out the Torah for 10 women so that those women can hear Parashat Zachor. That he relies on his father's kula on Rav Ovadia Zecher Tzedek Levracha. Now, as we said before, this is Siman Kuf Mem Gimel, Nimtzea Ta'ut Basefer. There is a mistake in the book. Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor. Instead of Moshe, it says El Mazeh lemor. The shin turned into a zayin. What do I do now? Can I continue? I don't continue. What's the halakha? So first of all, as long as you just found one mistake, or even 2, the book is considered kosher. There's no problem with the book. It's a specific mistake over here. Unless proven otherwise. If a guy comes and says, listen, look at the parchment over here, look at the ink, everything is fading out. This book must be checked, right? But if it was just 1 or 2 specific mistakes, then you still can fix that, and the book is considered kosher. And therefore, if a person had an aliyah, and then they fixed it, and now he's reading the Torah with a beracha, does he go home and say, oh my God, who knows if there are more mistakes now? Maybe my barachot were batala? And the answer is no. You do not have to be concerned. You saw 1 or 2 mistakes, they were fixed, your barachot are not lebatala. So we're not angels. The Rav Budbul, the Chatan of Rav Ovadia always says this. We're not angels. We try to do our best, and Hashem understands our heart. The halacha is, if there are 3 mistakes, the book is considered not kosher until checked. But less than that, it's kosher. Therefore, if someone fixed those 2 mistakes, and I say berachot, do not worry. Don't go home and be concerned about what happened if the book wasn't.
But how do they fix it? On Shabbat or something? How would they fix it?
Cannot fix it on Shabbat. On Shabbat, you'll have to pick out another book.
So they don't continue reading from that Torah.
No, if it's on Shabbat, yeah. Imagine it's a minyan that has 1 book and it happened during the week. And my rabbi, for example, he's a sofer. Sometimes he goes to Aliyot, he stops the reader, he takes out ink, he fixes it, and he just continues. Even if it's kosher, but he's a perfectionist, he wants to, he knows how to handle Sifrei Torah, and he does that. It's normal to him. Some people, they know what they're doing. But on Shabbat, of course, we're going to get to those halachot. What happens if there's a mistake in the middle of the reading? It's very interesting. What do you do with the existing Torah? Does it go back to the Aron? Stay out. We'll see. Now, one of the reasons why he shouldn't be concerned. So wait, I wrote a comment here. The Rambam holds that you do not say a beracha on a book like that, right? I mean, if there's a generally, you don't say I'm not sure what I meant over here. בפרט שהרמב"ם סובר שאינו מברך על הספר הזה. Okay. No, I wrote something wrong. The Rambam is known that he holds differently. The Rambam holds that you are allowed to say a beracha even on a book that is pasul, which means since you already read and the mistakes have been fixed, this is another reason for you to not be worried. Because even if there were more mistakes, the Rambam allows. Now that's not the halakha. We don't follow the halakha of the Rambam in this case. Halakha is not like the Rambam. But since we have that, it's another way, Yalkut Yosef says, to let your heart relax. Don't be concerned that if the Torah was fixed in front of you and maybe there are more mistakes, you're all set. Right? That's the comment from the Rambam. So as we said, if the Torah, there was a mistake in the middle, now it's Shabbat, like Yigal was asking, and Yom HaShabbat Kodesh, there is a mistake in the book, what do? We take out another Torah. Now where's the reader continue from? Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor, he's about to read Tzav. And, oh my God, I see a mistake. Does he have to go back to the beginning of the Aliyah, or does he continue from where he stopped? The halakha is that he continues from where he stopped. And in order for the Oleh, this happened in the middle of Aliyah. Simon had an Aliyah. He read the first pasuk, second pasuk, there's a mistake. So they bring out another Sefer Torah, and he continues from the Sefer pasuk, second pasuk. Now, in order for Simon to be able to say at the end, Hashem natan lanu torato, Torah temed v'chei olam tadochan, in order for him to say an ending beracha, there has to be at least 3 psukim. So if you already read one pasuk over there, theoretically, only 2 more psukim would be sufficient, because an Oleh needs minimum 3 psukim. However, once the Torah was changed, in order to say beracha on the second Torah, there's a minimum, again, it renews the minimum of 3 psukim on the new Torah, so that he can say the beracha at the end. Sorry for using you as an example, Simon. I'm sure your Torot are always perfect.
So, Ziv, on the second Torah, you don't say the beracha in the beginning, you just say it in the end.
Exactly.
You just stay quiet. You started from the same spot and then you.
That's why he doesn't have to read the pasuk. You don't have to read the pasuk.
Yeah.
Right? It counts.
But the first Torah stays there. They cannot put it back.
Very good. So why?
If not, בגלל הכבוד של התורה.
Exactly. We don't want to offend the Torah. Imagine the Torah is being put back in. Oh, everyone's going to say, what happened here? No. Put the Torah on the side and read in the other one.
Ziv, if like, let's say 5 minutes passes by where they take out the other Torah, they find the spot and everything, it's not a hefsek enough that you have to say bracha again?
Good question. So regarding the first bracha, it is what it is. You already said it, right? So there's nothing that we could do. We'll do it the faster we can. But in order for him to have the ending bracha, since 3 psukim are being read, there's no hefsek because the ending goes on the 3 psukim that he read. There's no hefsek between those 3 psukim and the ending beracha, so that's fine. Regarding the beginning, if it took a very long time, but he says just keep quiet, don't say anything, and at the end of the day, we should know. Remember, we learned last week that if the guy is not reading, it's beracha levatala. So don't answer amen. At least there's a fear that it's a beracha levatala. However, he doesn't have to read everything in order for his beracha not to be levatala. It's sufficient that he read 3 psukim. Let's say he has an aliyah of 10 psukim. Noten Torah, he's silent for 7 psukim. He doesn't say anything. The last 3 psukim, he reads it with the chazan. I can answer amen. But maybe there was an hefsek. No, he didn't say anything. At the end, he did the 3 psukim. So if they're bringing out a Torah, it's important what you're mentioning. Don't say, hey, everybody, bring out another Torah. Let other people do the talking. You're in the middle of your Torah reading. So of course, you shouldn't talk. Yeah, it's not considered a hefsek also for the beginning as well. But for the end, you're all set. Once you read the 3 psukim, you're approaching to say the beracha.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that's the next halakha. That he who said the bracha has to stay quiet until they bring out the next one. Yalkut Yosef, that's the next halakha that he brings. All right? And he says, whatever bracha he said in the beginning, B'diavad, it's fine. You didn't know that there's a mistake. And when he came to say the baracha, it was done in the right way, and therefore, b'diavad, it is okay. Now what happens if this is the only Sefer Torah that we have? We don't have, we're in a small shul, we have one Sefer Torah, we found a mistake. What do? We have a few more olim. Very interesting halakha. Yosef says, keep on reading. Don't say any brachot, don't bring any more olim, noten Torah, no. But at least keep on reading. I'm trying to think logically right now out loud with you right now. Why would that be? That's because according to the Rambam, this Torah is not even pasul. So at least according to his opinion, if we keep on reading right now, we are exempt from the mitzvah of reading the Torah in a crowd. However, to say a beracha, we're not going to say, because since halacha is not like the Rambam, maybe these brachot are lebatala, maybe brachot you're not allowed to say bracha when the Torah is not kosher. Therefore, Yalkut Yosef is posek. There's only one Torah, you keep on reading, but don't bring any more olim, and don't say any more berachot. Next topic of the Yalkut Yosef is if there's a mistake, like we mentioned before. If you find already 3 mistakes, the whole entire book must be checked. But he says, we're not talking about mistakes where, let's say, 2 letters started attaching to each other and just need to scrape a little bit. That's not a mistake. That's considered 1 out of 3 that will make the whole Torah need to be checked. We're talking about a mistake where there's a mistake that it seems like there really is a problem here. Not that letters shifted, moved a little bit. Something is missing. Sometimes something is extra. You wrote an extra letter. Right? That's already a mistake that fear those happen. You need to check the whole Torah again. What about the Gelilah? Right? You know you have a lot of olim. The Gabbai have a very important job. The Gabbai can't to say, you know what, when everybody comes, we'll be golel in front of everybody. No, it's Torah tzibur. You don't want to take the time of the people. You want to prepare before. Now he says, Im korim b'shnei inyanim, if, for example, we had like this Shabbat Zachor, you have one topic over here and the Maftir is another here. He says, don't take out one Sefer Torah and roll for the last Oleh. No, you don't want to tire the tzibur. That's why we're used to this, because we know we see it happening. Shabbat Zachor, 2 Sefer Torah. Really, someone would say, what do you mean? Let's just roll. Why do we need 2 Sefarim? What that is, you don't want to tire the tzibur, and therefore, make sure that it's spoke in the beginning, and make sure that you take out 2 Sefer Torah to not tire the crowd. Of course, if this is the only Torah that we have no choice. Then we are allowed to scroll it and bring it to where it was, because we have no choice. If you do have a choice, bring out the Sefer Torah. Now, what happens if we took out a Torah and we're in Parashat Devarim? We took out a Torah, we took out the wrong one. We open it, Bereshit bara Elokim. What do we do? What do we do now? Anybody have an idea what's the right thing to do?
Yeah, you have to fix it. You have no choice. You cannot put it back in.
Exactly. Why? Why don't we put the Torah back in?
It is disrespectful. It's disrespectful. You have to respect it.
Someone may think that the Torah is pasul. Someone may think there's something wrong with it. Exactly like you're saying, disrespectful for the Torah. Therefore, we keep it out. Everybody wait. We have to go from Bereshit to Devarim. Everybody's going to wait. That's the right thing to do in the honor of the Torah. Rabotai, Hazaku Baruch. Until next week, we will see the.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not sure when
Thank you.
over here. I'm going to let you know if it's going to be, I don't know how we're changing or not. All right. Thank you guys for the flexibility.
Thank you, Z.
All the best. Bye-bye.